It is May. Man, it feels like the whole year has flown by. We have Drew and Delisa of Get Tight to talk about live music, new menus, all sorts of fun stuff. Scott visited Kea, also went to Virginia Tech. We've got that story. Welcome to Eat It, Virginia.
Hello and welcome to Eat It, Virginia. My name is Scott Wise, and I am joined, as always, by my friend, Roby Martin. Roby, are you ready to get tight?
I
Did I throw you off just then?
You know what? Anyway, we've got Drew and Delisa on Chef D, which those stories are good, right?
Chef D just started at Get Tight in January, and it sounds like she has remade the place in her image in a way.
She's regulating over there. It's very cool to hear. And her history, I mean, it's nice. You know what? It's nice to see a female in the kitchen killing it.
And a local.
They almost always do, and we don't get to celebrate them enough.
She's local. She's from Richmond. She came up in a restaurant family. She's been around literally the world cooking, and now she's back at Get Tight Lounge in the Fan. So we will hear her story and the restaurant story in just a moment.
So, Scott, here I am sitting at dinner with a couple neighbors of mine. Let's just say not in Richmond.
Okay.
And I went to Virginia Tech, which both people who listen to this are aware of. And somebody says, hey, have you seen what happened at the Tech game?
I think I know where this is going.
I bet you do, but I bet you don't.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, sports. And obviously that's like not really my forte. So I'm like, no, I did not. What happened at the Tech game? So my neighbor pulls out their phone, hands me an Instagram video.
Yeah.
And it's yours, Scott. And I'm like, you do know that this is my co-host, right? And she goes, the 2 million views is your co-host?
I went viral. Well, I didn't go viral. But so I was my daughter goes to Virginia Tech, for those of you who don't know. She's a fresh woman.
Fresh woman.
Yes. And she invited me down for the spring game. I had not been to Lane Stadium before. I've been visiting her, obviously, this whole year. But we go to the spring game. First, we go to some fraternity parties. Your names are still on the walls there, by the way.
I know. Wrong number.
Call Roby for a good time. Yeah. All the houses.
Don't have
it's amazing. All these years later.
I wonder who gets all those calls.
Anyway, we're at Lane Stadium, and they have like all the pomp and circumstance, the band, the national anthem, whatnot. And they have the parachutists, the skydivers come in over the stadium. The first guy comes down pretty hard, and we're all kind of like he hit the ground, and I was like, whoa.
Ouch.
I thought he might have broken a leg or something. It was pretty serious. And then I look up, and we're in the students section. I look up, and
which is right near the scoreboard.
Right near the scoreboard.
Yeah.
We were right in front of the scoreboard. And there was 2 skydivers, kind of almost like, it looked strange. Like they were just like hovering almost, like not moving. Like, how do you do that? Like defying the laws of physics. So I recorded the first guy come down. I was recording everything. That's what I do. And the second guy comes in, and you've seen the video by now, but if you haven't, I'll put it in over me describing it. He kind of is going past the scoreboard and then kind of gets sucked back towards the scoreboard. Almost, he had like a big American flag he was carrying. And I don't know if that made him like moved him backwards. And he crashes into the scoreboard.
Like, was it a noise that you heard?
Everyone's cheering, so no, you couldn't.
Everybody's cheering the crash?
No, everyone's cheering the event.
Sure.
It's a football game. You remember those?
No, very barely.
And if you watch the video, again, I'll put it in, but like, everyone's like, no. And then you see him crash and breaks the scoreboard, and everybody like gasps at the same time because we all thought, and by we all, I thought that this man just killed him. Died
in front of 10,000 people
and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, he did not die. But he was hanging there, and in the minute that
just dangling from the American flag.
His parachute is on top of the Tech part of the stadium, which says Virginia Tech on the top. I think someone said it was a brand new Jumbotron. I don't know all the ins and outs.
I think it's pretty new.
I think I might have paid for it with her tuition this year.
I bet you did.
It's going to go up next year. Thank you, Virginia Tech. Anyway, he's like his parachute is dangling from it. I realize he's alive, and then I have like a beer in my hand. I'm like trying to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
My news judgment or whatever kicks in, and I'm like, I got to get this online. Blah, blah, blah. well, back when you were there, they didn't have Wi-Fi, but they basically don't have Wi-Fi anymore because it's the slowest. Like nothing was working. It was like 100 degrees outside, so my iPhone was heating up, giving me that warning, when you're at the pool and it's like your phone is too hot. The sun is so bright, as you can see, I don't see very well to begin with. I could barely see my screen. But all that aside, so he's hanging from the scoreboard, and we realize he survived, so we're all relieved. But the wind is still blowing very hard, and his parachute is like billowing off of the scoreboard, and we're worried that he's going to fall straight down to his death. So there was a loud cheer when the firefighters brought their ladder up. But it took about 10 minutes, which, probably that's normal. But when you're like watching it,
it feels so long.
It feels so long. They bring the ladder up, and it doesn't work. Like it's not close enough to him. I couldn't see what was happening on the ground. So the ladder goes back. Everyone cheers, so the ladder comes up, and then it goes back down. Everyone's like, "What is happening?" And then a few minutes later, another ladder comes up with a bucket on it and 2 firefighters, and they're able to like fish him down. And it's amazing. Everyone cheers. I joked with my daughter, like, once he hits the ground, they're going to play Enter Sandman, right? That's going to happen the second they get him, but it didn't quite happen that way. So I ran out of the stadium, uploaded the videos, got to see the guy walk out, which was amazing to see because literally I thought he had died 15 minutes earlier. He had a sling in his arm in a sling. He's doing well. I actually was texting with him this week for like the news part of my world.
Seems to be okay.
He declined an interview with me. I think he did it with a lot of other people, like national. He was like, Richmond, Virginia? No, I'm going to go with like Fox News. But he seemed lovely, like a lovely human. And he's a motivational speaker. I think he's been through like some PTSD, military things. He's been through a lot. So this is just like another moment in his life that he's like rallying around.
I am so glad he's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the video was terrifying.
Yes.
A humorous portion of the video, which this whole situation is clearly not funny, is like one of the top comments is you have a gentleman that's standing in front of you that has like a very visceral, everybody I'm sure did, but you caught his very visceral reaction on camera, and he has commented and it's just like snowballed.
He was like, I didn't know anyone was recording me, and I'm like, sorry, dude.
I mean, it wasn't you, but...
But the other thing, I don't know if you caught this, you probably did at this point, the music playing in the stadium... This is how legends are made. Right after he hits it. Like, literally, he hits it. It breaks. Everybody gasps. And on beat, this is how legends are made. And, like, in the moment, I didn't know that. Like, I couldn't hear it. And when I was uploading it, I didn't hear that either. Like, it was, like...
Just a lot happening.
The comment section really helps in situations like that because it tells you what you actually uploaded. Mm-hmm. Although a lot of expert skydivers all of a sudden in the comment section.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. My husband being one of them. He was like, he hasn't done this before? And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
All right. Well, thank you for bringing that up. I'm glad it ended well for everybody. The Hokies looked pretty good on the football field, although at that point, nobody really cared, I don't think.
Everybody's just glad everybody lived.
I do want to shout out 2 places I ate when on that trip, if you don't mind.
I mean, you apparently will not go to Gillies, so like I'm so glad you're going other places.
The Blacksburg Wine Lab, which is a reservation that my daughter made for us, it's pretty much on campus.
Well, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
So thanks to Sadie.
We're a cheese fan. I don't know if you can see behind me. This is her gift.
Good cheese at the Wine Lab?
Yeah, we did a charcuterie board, and we also did like a appetizer with cheese, melted cheese and goat cheese. And that was delicious. And then I stayed in Roanoke because it was Parents Weekend, or one of the family. There's like Parents Weekend. There's family. Any dollar they can extract from you, they're going to extract.
Or just time with your
Scratch Biscuit Company in
Love
Roanoke.
It. Love it.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And then I had to cut carbs after I did that. So.
Yeah, probably. Have you eaten a carb since?
Not. I ate enough that day at Scratch Biscuit. I don't need any more.
Ever.
Whew, all right.
Yeah, you feel
it's a lot about me.
I was going to say, the adrenaline's still pumping from me.
talking this much on my half of the podcast.
I really like it. I'm glad that everybody's okay again. Yes. And obviously happy to hear about cool things happening in Blacksburg because, well, Scott's spending a lot of time there. So if you went to Tech, are in Blacksburg, and have commented his video or any of those things, he would love more food recs because...
I need them.
Preferably ones without carbs.
Does that exist?
Of course it does.
Does a tomato have carbs?
I think good ones.
Good carbs or good tomatoes?
All of them.
Got some bad news about tomatoes, though.
I know.
Do you want to break the news? Has it been broken?
I think that Eileen has a good friend who is a good friend of Rebecca's, which I'm guessing what the local
People need last names. People know who Eileen is.
Millen.
And Rebecca.
She's the food editor over at Richmond Magazine.
Yes.
I think she's good friends with someone who's a good friend with Rebecca Lupesco, who is the chief
Marketing
of
whiz.
Mayo, essentially, over at, that is marketing behind Duke's Mayonnaise. And I saw that tiny buried little snippet in Eileen's food news.
Okay.
And said, okay, let's go to the source, because I don't know. Eileen did not name her source, so I'm guessing who it might be.
Okay.
And so we went to the source and we learned that
Hot tomato summer is not coming back.
Womp.
It's going to be a not so hot tomato summer this summer.
I think it's still going to be a hot tomato summer. I think tomato sandwiches are still the rage, so don't lose your mind. Duke's Mayonnaise is still cutting edge on them. But maybe they'll come up with something else that Duke's Mayonnaise is meant to be paired with.
For those of you who don't know, and if you're listening to this podcast, you probably do know, but if you don't know, Hot Tomato Summer, they've done it for 5 years, and it started in Richmond. Duke's Mayonnaise partnered with Richmond restaurants, and they had like a special mayonnaise or tomato-based dish, and it was like a celebration of the Hanover tomato and of Duke's Mayonnaise.
All tomatoes, really,
Yeah.
and of Duke's Mayonnaise. We've been sponsored by Hot Tomato and Duke's Mayonnaise. I've been sponsored almost every year by Duke's Mayonnaise. So
They gave us a nice sign behind me.
laser,
there we go.
there it is. Yep. So yeah, I am excited to see what they do next. A couple new restaurants. I see that you have Opa opening over at Libby Mill. That is the guys behind. What do they
The
own
Track
already?
family.
Yeah.
They own Tracks, which was a restaurant in the West End forever, like Greek Mediterranean food. And they own Grapevine, I believe, out in the West End as well. They hope to open later this year, according to a Richmond BizSense article that
Great.
I read.
We got Peaberry Coffee, which is by the individual that owns Liberty Public House, that's opened up, and I'm excited about that because I like any good coffee shop. So fun new openings.
Did you hear about your friend Harold at Chicken Fiesta, what he's doing?
No, because he won't come on the podcast.
I think he won't.
I have asked him, and we need him. I want him to talk about his next step because I feel like this is a really great idea, Harold.
Harold, who started and owns Chicken Fiesta, which at one point I thought was like a national chain, but it's really just a regional chain.
We are so fortunate.
Yeah, it's amazing. He has land out in Verina. He's turning it into a restaurant and like a horse ranch where you can go and have a steak dinner and then pet a cow.
Pet the steak?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, ride a horse, pet a cow.
I mean, sure. Yeah.
You can't ride a cow. I guess you can't. Well,
No,
you don't want to ride a cow?
No. Clearly not from Farmville, this
No.
guy. So no. Speaking of nice things that you can do places, I don't know if that's a segue at all. We do have some new nice gifts because you visited, I don't know, you went to see Dave?
yes. So for those of you who don't know, probably by now you do know, America is celebrating its 250th birthday in July. And it's like a whole year-long celebration. And as part of that, the Virginia Spirits have gotten together, and they put together gift pack, a trio pack.
There's gin, rum, and whiskey in it, and it is a collaboration of a bunch of different local distilleries. Think like Farago and Catoctin Creek. We love that Scott
Yes.
Harris over there. You've got Reservoir, who
Yes.
you've interviewed. You've got Vitae, which is out in Charlottesville. There's a bunch of those guys all coming together to make some cool stuff. Scott will have the full, even more detailed story than the 4 liquors distilleries I just yanked out of this little press release we have right here. Are you going to drink it?
I'm not going to drink it because it's a collector's item.
Is
They've
it for
only made
sale?
a couple thousand. Yeah, they're selling them at Virginia ABC stores. They've only made like a couple thousand boxes, so that could be worth millions of dollars, Roby.
Nick, are we going to drink it?
I'm gonna.
He nodded.
It's not happening.
So we're not worried about whether or not Scott's going to drink it because Nick and I are going to drink it without Scott. So there we go.
A couple other small businesses we wanted to shout out who sent us things. Belmont Peanuts from the Marks family down in Southampton County sent the newsroom
Uh-huh.
a whole variety of peanuts. We've enjoyed them in the newsroom. So shout out to the Marks family and Belmont Peanuts for all your peanut needs. And our friend Kaya launched a new flavor recently of her chip.
Yeah.
2-time podcast guest.
I know. I love that about her. She takes the time to hang out with us whenever we ask, which is cool.
This is the Golden Ranch flavor. So if you see it in your stores, you're supporting a local entrepreneur and food expert, Kea.
I got to say, you can't miss it either, which I think is a really brilliant marketing move by her. Pink, orange, yellow bag, super bright, fun logo. So, yeah.
And an excellent human at that. So normally, at this part of the podcast, you would present your hot list of the new or exciting new Richmond restaurants that have opened since our last podcast episode. But we're going to change it up a little bit. Why don't you explain that?
Well, so restaurants have opened, but I like to give them a little time before we're like, go and do all the things. And I feel like with where the economy is, that maybe we'll do some hot deals instead of hot restaurants.
Okay.
So these restaurants some of them have been open for a very, very long time and have been doing stuff like this forever. Some have not been open that long and have started some hot deals, and I feel like they're pretty cool.
All right.
So let's start. So you've got Cahoots, which is in the Fan, which is doing $3 taco nights. I had a fish taco there, let's say a couple of Tuesdays ago, that was like big as my dinner plate, which one taco, huge taco, $3. So imagine how well that could go. You've got Mimi's. Now, I'm a big sucker for espresso martinis, but like all of their martinis are $5 on Tuesday nights, which I think is unbelievable. Those are my two. Scott said, Roby, could you reach out to our listeners and find out if they have some really great places? And holy moly, you guys have a lot of great places to go. We've got Vera, who decided to tell us about Three Notched. So she loves their date night, which she's a big fan. I guess it's $45, and you get like a bunch of stuff for the two people. She did say that's a great deal, but also wanted me to know about the $20 a month beer.
What's this?
2 6-packs for $20 plus 3 beers at Three Notched. That's like 15 beers for $20 a month. If you're a drinker and you like IPAs, that's probably your place. Ann Weber came through with the Slack Tide. She says, I don't know if you know about the $8 Caesar and the $5 fries.
Okay.
Girl dinner. Perfect girl dinner.
I love that.
Yes, and I feel like you would
Scott
do girl dinner. Scott dinner.
Yeah.
You've got Riverside on Tuesday nights, which have a smash burger for $10, and that comes with fries. What else do you have? The Franklin Inn does a burger for $7 on Wednesday nights. $7 burger. And apparently it changes every Wednesday night with whatever it is. Ripple Rays, you can go and do a beer and a shot and a grilled cheese every day for $10.
Every day?
I
want to go every day. It's like the fish parking lot.
Dude, don't make fun of me. Brambly Park, $45, 2 entrees, a bottle of wine, and a dessert after 7:30.
That's amazing.
That's Bobby Kruger.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. And then... Hold on.
Yes.
My favorite is we had someone say, this is not a joke, but can we shout out the meal deal at Wawa? Was it
my son? That's his favorite place to eat 3 times a day.
And I was like, well, I don't go to Wawa, but I assume that people do. And he was like, it's the $6 meal deal specifically. And he'd like you to know that the Italian wrap with onions, sweet peppers, spinach, tomatoes, honey, jalapeno chips, and a vanilla Coke Zero is like the best.
$6 for all that?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. There's one Richmond restaurant that we both know and love that has pretty good prices at really great food as well.
What a segue. Yes. You know what? I hear that you took advantage of those prices just recently, and we talk about that in the interview with Delisa Campbell and Drew Schlegel with Get Tight Lounge. They both want to know what you ate.
Yes. I had... the pit beef. It was delicious. That's what I always get when I go. That's what you're known for, the pit beef.
I love it. So hi guys, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
I'm actually super stoked because you have like really deep roots in Richmond restaurants, Drew, and you are relatively new to me. So I'm excited to hear your history as well. So let's walk through how you got into restaurants, because there's like a Randy O'Dell connection and a Fuzzy Cactus connection. You're like...
So I haven't even been here a decade yet, but when I moved to town, my first gig was at the Lily Pad, and I went out for my first night of work, and at the end of the shift, the manager said, hey, my other job is sending me to Europe for the next couple months, so it's yours now. And,
the Lily Pad, just yours? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
So it was myself and the owner, and I staffed the place, and... kind of how I got my start in the whole Richmond restaurant scene was start making Thursday nights. I'd have guest bartenders. And I went to NSUBOCA, and I thought I'd tell somebody about this idea. And then it must have been like, it was jackpot, because there was all these who of bartenders must have been standing within 5 feet of me. And as soon as I said it to one person, like 4 different people turned around and were like, I'm free next Thursday. Oh, I'll do it also. And so I had like my first 2 months booked out in like 10 minutes.
So the idea was to bring bartenders from other restaurants to your restaurant?
To the Lily Pad.
The one on the river, or the
one?
Okay, cool.
On the river.
Yeah.
Previous Lily Pad, so before all the improvements, when it was just like kind of a shack. And
I liked it like that. I like it like it is now, but I also loved it like that.
$12 for a burger, a bag of chips, and 4 domestic cans. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
To bring it as a rager.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
What year was that?
That was 2019.
1732?
2018 and 2019.
Could you imagine all that for $12 these days?
It was what we were very busy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was cool. And so, yeah, what I'd do is we'd have a different bartender would come, and they would have to bring their drink of choice. And it was either from the restaurant that they worked at or just something they like serving at their restaurant, and they'd bring it out and they'd invite all their friends, and then all their friends would come out. And then I'd meet even more people from the Richmond restaurant industry.
Snowballed.
Yes. And that went from me having the winter seasons off because Lily Pad was seasonal, to working at Edo Squid for a little while, to being at Hardywood for a little while, for, I was at Jasper for a little while when they first opened. I hoped to open Long Oven.
Everything a little while. What's the deal with a little while?
It was seasonal.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so I wouldn't commit to anything full-time because as soon as the weather changed, I was back out the Lily Pad.
Gotcha.
And then I formed a business in Northside called Fuzzy Cactus. Did that for just over a year. Wasn't, the best fit for myself, so moved on from there and partnered with my now business partner, Randy Odell. And both him and I opened Get Tight Lounge.
Perfect. It's all put together now. There's like news articles that say one thing or another thing, and like now we all know how you ended up at Get Tight. So how did you get connected with Delisa?
Chef D was through just an interview process over the winter, and she, I believe, was the first or second person we interviewed. And as soon as she got up, both the manager and myself were like, that's the lady that has to run the kitchen. And we asked her to come in immediately, and she came in, and within the first 30 minutes, the gentleman that she was replacing was like, this is the lady that needs to run the kitchen. He's now on tour with Guar. So he moved on, and everybody's moving. Yeah, everybody's moving onward and upward. And it's the best thing to happen to the restaurant in quite some time. And I say that because we've had a lot of amazing staff members come through, especially in the front of house. From some management, we've had really a pretty stellar cast of bartenders come through Get Tight Lounge that I think has made it the place that is today. Everybody's own little input, own little touch to it. And I mean, I could spend the rest of this time telling you about each one of those and where they are now and what they're doing, and it's its own story in itself. So I feel very lucky to have had them come through. And now with Chef D and Miss Lily as the bar manager and Miss Cindy as the GM of the restaurant, like we're in a new, even bigger and better place, which is very exciting for the coming years.
Scott was talking when we were discussing your restaurant earlier that we are impressed, and you're going to have to tell us how you do this. You straddle like several different types of spaces in one restaurant. Like you're at a restaurant with good food, you're a college bar, I mean, that is not a derogatory statement. You are a live music venue. You can be called at occasion a dive bar. I mean, like you have like
late night snacks,
a late night snack spot.
So
I mean, it's just
affordable.
So many things. Lunch.
I think we do a couple things very well, which lend it to be many things. I would say, not to say that I'm offended by any of these things, but like, man, people talk to us about the college bar thing, and I would say maybe in the last couple months we've had a younger crowd, but we don't have much of the college crowd. Like people ask who's hanging out, and I'll be like, look around, and they'll look around, and it's people in their upper 20s, early 30s, all the way through their 50s, and they're like, oh wow, I guess you're right. I just assumed because it's on campus that it's a college bar, and actually, no. The only time we usually were getting college kids in is because they were homesick. One of my favorite stories to tell is I had a gentleman come to the bar once, and he sat down and ordered a shot of George Dickel and a Coors Original, and I was like, you got to show me your ID. And he was 21. And as I'm getting him his drinks, the radio is on, he's listening. He's like, oh, man, I love this album. And it was the Cocteau Twins, Heaven or Las Vegas. I'm like, all right, what's up? Right?
Who are you, bro?
And so I give him his drinks, and he's like, this is what my dad drinks. I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, and this is my mom's favorite record. And I was like, oh, you're homesick. I get it.
Aww.
But so we're that place where you can come and, it straddles all ages. And then as far as the dive bar thing goes, I think
that is a compliment coming from me. I want you to know that.
I like to say that I don't think we're as much of a dive bar, because when I think of dive bars, I don't think of like necessarily the most cleanly bars. And I'm nothing against a dive bar, because I love a good dive, right? But I like to think of us more of a neighborhood bar where we have that comfortable feeling where when you sit down in a seat or at a bar stool, you have that same feeling you would have at a dive, where you can either be left alone or meet your new best friend in the next 15 minutes without, I guess, all the dirt and grime. At least, we're doing our best to.
They're a very clean dive bar. That's my favorite kind of dive bar.
Yeah, sure.
Let's re-edit that. Rewind.
I feel like it's an
we'll
oxymoron.
It's like jumbo shrimp, but those are my favorite shrimp. So there you go.
Yep, Chef D.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good.
So tell us about your adventures in the kitchens around town. You're from Richmond, right?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Richmond, and then I had my grandparents owned a couple of restaurants growing up. Kind of dibbled and dabbed, and as a kid, tried to figure it out. I was a dishwasher there, and then as I got older, say about 18, 19, I decided after high school, I was like, I'm gonna go to culinary school, try to go somewhere different, do a different thing nobody else was doing that I've seen. So I started cooking, and I started at Old Charlie's, actually. The one on Gaskins was my first store, and about 6 months in.
They just tore it down.
Yeah, they did.
It's Sheets now.
Yeah, it's Sheets.
Very sad.
But that's a good place to start. I bet you learned a lot.
I did. I learned a lot from there, and coming from straight out of culinary school, everybody has that mentality as, oh, I'm going in as a chef. I didn't. I came in still as a student, in my opinion, and I picked up bad things, good things from everybody, and then 6 months in, they were like, hey, would you like to be the head chef for this store? I'm like, sure, I can try this, and took off. I became their corporate trainer for the whole 9 stores in Richmond. I ran most of those. I had the highest volume stores. I was doing pretty good over there. I enjoyed it. So then I kind of took a step back, like, this is kind of more commercial. Let me see what else I can do. Then I got with Boathouse, the Boathouse Hospitality, and I opened the Casa del Barca and Short Pump. I helped them with ISCO, so I kind of developed that, and I was working with them at Boathouse as well. So I kind of was in that little circle, and then I decided to go bigger because I like high end and I like volume. So I got a call to come open the Top Golf in Richmond. That was the biggest venue I ever did. So I was like, all right, let's take the challenge. And I was really good at running the Richmond location. So they sent me around the country to help with other ones from Arizona, Oklahoma. I was everywhere across the 50 states helping with stores and developing. And then I kind of took a step back and kind of breathed for a little bit, came back to Richmond and did like some odd and end, helping other restaurants, like for example, Drew's, like smaller family-owned restaurants, kind of come up and become stronger and be able to hold their own. So then I took a step back, and then I got called internationally. So I do cook, and he would tell you, I cook internationally too. I go back and forth to Jamaica once a month or once every other month to cook. So I leave and go back and forth. He found me right in the transition in January. He called and was like, hey, come in for an interview. I'm like, cool. So I was just on my way back from Jamaica, and we did the interview, and I took the offer because I wanted to do something more fresh cooking, more like hands-on, and where I can create the menu and I create the flow of the business in the back end. Like, I'm the one who's bringing in all the ideas for the back end to help the front, come together. And then I was in D.C. for a long time, from D.C. to Connecticut. I ran a company called Dig In, and I had like 4 stores up in D.C. with under the contract. But then there was a lot of contract work like he did. I didn't kind of want to be commit to nothing because I know how I am. I like to get in, fix stuff, and then if I get somebody else calls, I will go try to help them and get them straight. But when Drew called, I decided to come here, and it's going to probably be my permanent spot for a while. But besides me going back and forth to Jamaica, I go back soon to go cook for a resort out there. So kind of dibble and dab everywhere, and came back home. So
I can see why you were.
I agree.
Oh, we're very
impressed.
excited to have Chef D. Yeah,
That'd have to be a great interview.
I would tell you, besides everything she just said, you got to try her cooking. I mean, that's what was awesome.
Yeah.
She immediately came in and was like, "Here, taste this," and I was like, "Oh." Yeah.
So what have you brought to the menu?
I brought a lot of different changes. I keep his Baltimore theme with certain things because that's what he's known for. But I add my intake on being mixed and being diverse as I am. I kind of bring in stuff from the Caribbean. I'm going to probably bring in some stuff from my grandmother's side from Nigeria, and then I'm half Cherokee. So I'm bringing in that type of influence. Like this whole April menu was pretty much Caribbean with a Southern flair. So we did like jerk chicken with coconut rice and bok choy with a ramp pesto and hemp seeds. Like I do
It's
elevated food for a bar. So my idea is if it's not frozen, everything in our restaurant is completely fresh. I don't even have freezers really, so I have to make everything like all the time to stay on top of everything. But with this idea, I wanted to keep it more, how can I say, more local, but not an elevated, but not too much to where you be like, oh, I'm coming into a 4-star restaurant. No, you coming into a bar, lounge type scene, but you're getting that food you'll buy at a 4-star restaurant, and that's what I'm doing.
So if we come in, if we say, give us your best dish right now, what are you serving us?
I probably give you the jerk bowl, the green goddess bowl. That's my top selling dish, and it's not even on my permanent menu. So I would probably give you that one, and I would say my steak dish. I've been messing around with steak a lot and like different cuts and marination. I got a steak one, we call it the turpin. It's marinated for 12 to 24 hours ahead of time. Crispy potatoes with ramp butter over it and glazed Brussels sprouts and red peppers. It's a good combination. Sell a lot of. I think that's my hands down two best.
I'm telling
dishes.
you, it's ramp season, so I'm hearing all the local.
Yeah,
and
if you
right
want to
in
get
it.
elevated,
Let's
he'll
do it.
tell you I got the best cheesecake in the city. I guarantee you, I
man.
got the best cheesecake in the city.
All right, say that again. You have the best.
I have the best cheesecake in the city,
Can I
hands
add to
down.
that? She has the best cheesecake in the city. Hands down.
I love a good cheesecake. Now, tell me what it looks like.
Oh, my cheesecake is about that tall. It's
Yes.
airy. They're all trying to
It's
figure
so
it out. They
airy
can't
and
figure
fluffy. And it doesn't lose that cheesecake element. Like
It's not over
my mouth
sweet.
is watering talking about it.
I've been
Like,
chasing a cheesecake. There used to be one here in Richmond at the Lighthouse, no longer open, that was 9 stories tall.
Mm-hmm. I got a good cheesecake. I've had the last interview we did for RVA Mag. He's from New York and Juniors. He said I can go toe to toe with Juniors. Like I have one of the best cheesecakes in the city.
I've been
I'm
cut
serious.
Gauntlet thrown.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
well,
Cut
you
off.
love a sweet. You're a sweet tooth
And
guy.
I don't say nothing too much. Like I'm very confident in what I can do, but I'm not one to be like, this is the best you're ever gonna have. But this cheesecake took me 1.5 years to make this recipe. So it's one of those.
If you come in and order it, please share with me because she's cut me off.
I will which means you can come in and get a cheesecake in that frozen espresso thing that you do. That
the
is
Oaxacan coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing will murder you. It's so good. I mean,
I feel like I have so many questions based on the opening statements from both of you. So you mentioned your grandparents owned restaurants in town.
Back in the day, like a long time ago, my grandma owned this country bar back in the day on JD called Boot Scooters. It was back, she owned that, and I used to go in when I was a kid and wash dishes and figure it out, and I learned there. Yeah. That was one of the biggest
Boot
restaurants.
Scooters. Did you ever go to Boot Scooters?
no, I didn't even know it existed.
It was
what type of food did they serve?
She served all kinds of food. It was more like a southern country flair food, but it was one of the busiest bars in the city back in the day. In the early 90s, it was one of the biggest restaurants in the city.
I can't believe I had never went.
It used to be on, where the flea market, the big flea market is on JD. It was right beside the gas station was that big building. Now it's like a Spanish taqueria. It was that building back in the day.
Man, how big was that
It
kitchen?
was huge. The kitchen was huge. And I used to remember going in and you could hear everybody in and I'll peek out the corner, I'm washing dishes all over the place. And I would go out there and you see people climbing on the sit, like going to kiss the little moose for their birthday. Like they did stuff like that. So
Is that code for something? Kiss the moose? Or
No,
is
they
that,
used to
was
do
a
it
moose.
for it was a real moose head up there
Sounded
that
like
they
something
had. And they would go
euphemism.
out there and kiss the moose and take shots for their birthdays and stuff like that. So it was one of those type of feels back in the day. So that's how I really started.
I bet your work ethic is probably at like a high level because dishwashing in a large. I've done it.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So
They put me out the kitchen almost every other day because I'm in there like 12, 14 hours. So my staff even be like, "Chef, go home. We got it for the night."
you can't stay.
Yeah, so I always he puts me out sometimes too.
Do we have enough cheesecake? All right, cool.
Yeah, then I can go home.
Let's get out of the kitchen for
I
a
need to
while.
ask the important questions. Is there cheesecake in the freezer?
Yeah, yep.
I love it.
Had you been to Get Tight before taking the job?
Never been there before. I've heard about it throughout the city, but I just never. I live in Short Palm, so I really don't come down this far no more. And after how the scene and changed a lot over the last 10, 15 years, the scene has changed a lot. So I haven't really been down there. And then when he called, I came up, I seen the scene. I was like, I actually like it here. It's different. It's more my speed. So yeah, it was somewhere fun.
I was going to ask, what about the restaurant specifically did you like? This is where I want to be.
It's the when you walk in, it's kind of like the staff. I worked in a lot of restaurants, and you can walk into somewhere new, and you kind of feel like a block, and it's like I'm new. Everybody's going to kind of give me attitude, and I'm not going to feel welcome yet. And then being a female in the kitchen is a whole different ballpark. I'm the only female back there, so it's kind of like I'm just walking, and I'm like I don't usually like. I'm kind of sheltered a little bit, but walking in here, even from the first interview with him to my second stage with them, I walked in and I felt like I've been there for like the whole time he's been open. The staff gravitated to me. Everybody kind of respects me. They give me everything I need. So it was like warming and welcoming feeling, and I don't get that from a lot of restaurants in the city. I really don't. But this one, you walk in, you feel like you're at home in a sense, and that's what made me be like, yeah, I'm going to work here.
So what is it about Get Tight that gives off that feeling?
I think it's the staff that we have. We can only do so much. It's actually the people that can portray that, can make it happen. Like I said earlier, we've been very fortunate with like the staff we've gone through that we create that vibe. When you walk in and you're like, oh, it's kind of divey. You're not looking around as in like, oh, it's dirty and there's cheap beers. You're like, it's a comfortable feeling. I always. It's like Bamboo. When you walk into Bamboo, you're like, I was just here the other day. Wait, no, that was 2 months ago. Oh, man, it's been too long. But you feel like it was just the other day. Or your first time in there, you're like, oh, I've been here before. Like, we strive to make sure that, like, everyone's welcome, that everybody should be comfortable. It's just really important. I think at every place I've worked at in the city and the places I frequent, like, that's something that we try to bring or I experience when I go, and that's why I go to those places. That's why I've gravitated to the people I work with, because that to me is very, very important. That makes an experience right there.
I'll flip that around. You had to have curated that. He hires the people. So part of that is definitely you creating the space.
Well, thank you very much.
Really cool. How do you manage? You have so many things happening in that spot. Like there's an entire separate live music contingent. So how do you manage it all?
It's pretty easy. We have like a written formula.
It's so easy.
In all
equals
honesty,
MC squared.
Yeah. In all honesty, it's like, all right. So today's a new day. What do we have going? Oh yeah, I booked that, and we're doing that. Oh. Okay, so how are we going to do this, guys? And that's when the staff comes together. And man, I think that's also a big part of it is like, there's not a set like roadmap to this. We had DJ Williams perform outside.
Oh,
we
nice.
had Rattan DJ, Ray from Bioritmo and Miramar spinning records inside for a salsa night.
So 2 different things happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're not exactly the same tunes.
No, and they're not exactly the same time.
Okay.
DJ played from 8 or 8:30 till 10:30, and Ray started at 10 o'clock inside. So there's might be a little bit of overlap, but it's kind of like we keep the party rolling. And then before that, there were 2 Saturday performances at the Altria. So there was an afternoon, a matinee, and then there was a 7:30 performance. So
Broadway in Richmond.
Definitely.
Broadway in Richmond,
Look at
which
your plug.
we are huge fans of.
They sponsored the podcast. Thank you, Broadway in Richmond.
You are such a cheeseball.
Well, we're big fans too. They send a lot of business our way, and we're very, very grateful for that. But I mean, that right there that's pretty wild. How many restaurants, are able to do that? We wouldn't be able to without like the staff all pitching in and like kind of helping each other out. We've figured out shortcuts. We definitely had to learn the hard way sometimes. Overstaffing, understaffing, making a left where we should have made a right type deal. Now, in year 4, things are starting to be figured out. But, previous couple years, our dinner wasn't quite as busy as it is now. So now, thanks to Chef D, we have a busier dinner, which then throws another wrench into the equation.
You're
which
selling all the food
is
with all those
also
people in
yes,
there.
which is also great. But man, it's a beast. But that's, I think, a really big reason as to why a lot of the staff we have chooses to be there, because there's some days of just regular old restaurant work, and there's other days of just chaos that is somehow like party-esque chaos.
I think the word I would use to describe your place is just alive. Like, it just feels alive when I'm there. There's always something happening. The people are interesting. The food coming out is interesting. The music is interesting. The Orioles are on TV, which we got to talk about. You're
sports.
You're a Baltimore human.
I am born and raised.
Let's talk about that influence on this restaurant.
So, Baltimore born and raised. When I turned 22, I moved to Austin, Texas, was there for just over a decade, moved to Richmond, did the things in restaurants I was telling you about, went to do Get Tight Lounge. Randy and I were like, all right, what do we do for food? How are we going to go about this? I was like, all right, well, there's a thing in Baltimore. It's called pit beef. It's barbecue, not in the traditional sense, but it's Baltimore barbecue. And it's fairly simple, to the sense that, like, if you go to Baltimore and get pit beef, it's probably somewhere in, like, looks like a oversized shed. Nice. Or somewhere it's like just the shell of a building with, like, maybe some siding thrown up on, or plywood, right? And there's usually a couple of high schoolers in the back with, like, flames going, a slicer, and a deep fryer for French fries, and that's like it. There are more famous places that are now more well known, but even the most famous one was in the parking lot of a strip club. Like, it's that type of vibe. So Randy was interested, being a barbecue enthusiast as well. We went on the pit beef tour of Baltimore, and we did that in 2 days. And
what year is this? I'm sorry, I'm trying to get
that was 2022, early 2020, or maybe 2021. But so, you know, we went to all these different places. He was like, "Oh wow, it really is a grill, a slicer, and all right, let's try it out." And so it's been fairly successful for us. It's taken a little while to catch on. Not a lot of people understand what pit beef is.
They compare it to Arby's.
Yeah, which I would say is like Arby's if Arby's were good. And if
That's
you're a
what
fan
she
of
told me.
Arby's,
It's exactly what
and
she
if
told
you're-
me.
You and I just said the same
And
thing.
if
He
you're
brought it
a
up
fan of
earlier, and
Arby's-
I was like, well, if Arby's was good.
you're a fan of Arby's, which is fine, right? It's better. It's real food. You know, we get high quality top rounds. We trim them ourselves. We season them ourselves. We cook them over hot coals. We don't, in Baltimore, you can get it to temp. Here we do pink or no pink. We do a potato roll. We make a homemade barbecue sauce, thin sliced onions.
God, you're making me hungry.
And a horseradish mayo mix. And so that was kind of like, all right, now let's figure out around this. And then, you know, not being a chef, but having experience, you know, I found myself in the kitchen many days. And then as things got busier, we made more money. We were able to hire different people. And throughout the couple of years have ended with, you know, Chef D, which is a huge upgrade for us.
Are
Very
you
happy.
making pit beef for the first time?
Well, I would say for him, yeah, this is my first time touching it and like doing it, and he told me I'm pretty good at it now. But I'm out there smoking corned beef and everything now. Like I didn't kind of took it and read up on it. Even though I'm a chef, like everybody doesn't know everything. That's one genre I didn't really touch in cooking, but I got it down pat now. You couldn't tell the difference. I'm pretty good.
I bet you are.
I'd say she does a better job than I did.
But I think it's cool that you're like, you know what? I'll learn how to do this because this is what you guys are doing. That's neat.
Oh, not only did she learn how to do it, she's like, I'm going to learn how to do this, and it's better than yours. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
So now you
And
can
I
stop.
Good answer.
I mean, to the point where, like, you know, I think I do a pretty good job smoking certain meats. My pastrami is usually pretty good, and Chef D now does a phenomenal pastrami that we put a pastrami Reuben on the menu recently. So we have an in-house smoked pastrami Reuben, which is pretty badass.
Has the restaurant become like a gathering place for people from Baltimore? Like, have you noticed that happening yet, or is it something you want to be?
More so when the Ravens are in the playoffs.
Sure.
And this year, it seems to be a lot more Orioles fans coming. We've always done like a Natty Bo special, and we always have the Orioles package on TV. Twice a year, I do a bus trip up to Camden Yards, which is a lot of fun. But this year, I mean, for opening day this year, we had every single seat inside and outside and at the bar full of Orioles fans.
Beautiful.
And that was easily double what it's been in the past. It was pretty awesome. It's always nice when like people come together for like the same common reasons. I mean, even if I were an Orioles fan and all of a sudden one day the restaurant filled up with Nationals fans, like they're probably going to be in good spirits because they're all together. That just vibe right there is awesome. You know, we never like turn sports teams away or anything like that. It's just because I don't know many places you can gather for Orioles or Ravens. We decided to take advantage of that.
I want to talk to you about the live music aspect. Was that from day one something you wanted to do, is have a venue in a restaurant, a music venue in a restaurant?
No, not at all. In fact, I'd never wanted to have a restaurant. Being in Texas, you didn't have to have a restaurant. What you would do is you would have a bar or a venue, and then you'd have the 10 best food trucks in the city compete to pay you rent to have their food out front of your bar or venue. It was pretty brilliant. You know, and then if you didn't like the way things were going, and that lease, and you'd get the next best food truck, you know, set up. So until recently, when the state decided to change some laws, still not perfect, but in a better direction.
The ratio law you're talking
yes.
about. Okay.
I mean, I understand why.
Do you guys sell that much liquor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, more than beer and wine is where I'm going, because obviously that doesn't affect the food ratio.
Well, not even when you say more. The price of a cocktail is significantly more expensive than
Natty Bo.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
But so ABC doesn't come in and say, in volume, how much liquor or spirits have you moved? They say, how much money have you made in spirits, right? So it could be less alcohol, but more money made. That's what they're looking at.
And that's
right?
what the ratio
and
is. Yep.
think about like when you go. I say this as far as like venues in town. I really feel. For places like the Broadberry, I don't know if I feel too bad for the National, but Gallery 5, the Camel, like, man, like to be a venue is so much work. To put in local bands, startup bands, touring acts, regional and national, and then try to succeed selling ticketed events, taking care of the bands, and then making sure like it's a great experience for the listener and the ticket buyer, like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. You need a lot of help. So that costs money also. So now on top of it, you have to make just as much money selling food as you would selling drinks. How many times do you go to a show at the National and you're eating a cheeseburger while you're standing there rocking out to, your favorite band? Yeah, no.
Doesn't happen.
No. And then even if, I feel like Get Tight Lounge still falls in this sometimes, even if they have food there, most people don't think of it as a place to get food. It's, they have to have food because that's what's required by the state.
Yep.
So they go to their favorite place to eat before they go to the show. And it's a shame. And I definitely feel for their struggles. And, that's a very difficult thing. I think that there should be at least some leniency as far as some of these art galleries, venues. The option shouldn't be either have a restaurant or be a nonprofit. Like that seems kind of wild.
Do you manage the music side, or did you
I do.
outsource that? So it's all done in house.
Yes, sir.
Was there a moment? Yes, sir. Jeez.
Yes, sir. It is.
Sorry, you're very polite. I appreciate that. Is there a moment when the band was on the stage and you're sitting in the back and you're kind of like, damn, I did it. Like, this is what I envisioned. Do you remember that?
Every other week.
It happens often.
Sometimes, man, it's awesome. Just when I'm like, this is it. Like, my mind gets blown later that week. From everything from like the DJs we have. Sometimes it's the same DJs. We have a set of DJs that come every Wednesday night, and they've been doing it for 2.5 years now. And still, you'd think after the first couple months, you'd be like, I've heard this. No, there are nights where I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. They're crushing this. This is great. It just continues to improve. I mean, if it stopped being exciting, I don't think I'd have as much enthusiasm towards it, and then it would probably suffer. And no, it's constantly exciting.
And have you worked at a restaurant with a live venue attached?
Not really, but the biggest venue, I'm going to say Top Golf.
Yeah, it's
we're
huge.
on a whole nother level when it comes. You're seeing about 8,000 people a day, give and take, so you're busy there. I haven't been in the music side, but being here, I enjoy it because they'll fill up, the building completely fill up, and then we're in the back and we kind of anticipate, especially for like the Ultra shows. I got like 30 minutes to get people food in and out, and that's our goal. And when you see the whole ticket rail line up and you got tickets coming coming down. And we push that in 30 minutes. The food comes out picture perfect, no issues, and you see the guests eat, and then you're like, we're sitting in the back and we're completely done. And we just kind of sit back, and I'm like, yeah, and I'll walk through the crowd just to see how people and talk to them. They're like, this is the best food we had. This is great. That kind of pumps me up, and I'm like, yeah. It takes me about 30. I got to have them in and out for that show.
So remember, Broadway and Richmond fans and customers, show up at least 45 minutes before you have to be
Give
there.
yourself some time.
Yeah, when the entire restaurant gets flat sat and they go, we got to be somewhere in 20 minutes.
Right.
It
doesn't work.
Kills the vibe.
But we knock it out, and we keep a smile on that face.
So you guys are. When do you open during the weekdays?
11 a.m.
Yeah,
to 2
so
a.m. 7
So you
days
could
a
go
week.
at 11, Broadway and Richmond fans. 11 a.m.
Stay till 7. Walk over to the show.
And walk over. Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see the people that perform.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Most definitely. They come in for lunch. They come in for happy hour. A lot of times they come for drinks afterwards. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
We actually were there for drinks after one of the shows and saw some of the individuals come in.
Yeah?
I was like, should we buy them a shot? Probably not. They have to sing tomorrow night. Then they drank beer, so apparently it was fine.
I want to get back to your career, because it's interesting to me that you would go to these restaurants and like immediately it seems like they would recognize you as somebody that deserves to be pumped up the ladder. What do you think it is about you that
I just come in and I guess I got that aura about me. Everybody says
you definitely have the aura about you.
Everybody says when I come in, and usually when I come in, I don't come in with an ego or nothing like that, because I've been around the block a couple of times. I just come in, see what the problem is, and I'm good with numbers and like the back end stuff. So I'll come in, I'm like, hey, we could do this, we could change this. Like with him, when I came in, I was like, hey, we could change this, we change this. I can save you here, and we can up here. And he was just like, do it.
What did you see, Jay? Curiosity.
Like here, for him, I seen a lot of stuff where we could have saved money on. Absolutely. Like I streamlined that menu, made it smaller, made it make more sense. And I'm doing that with the back. And then I'm seeing like staff members that actually could be trained to be my position in other positions. I'm working with them, and I work with the front of the house as well. I know both ends very well. So I'm like the back, what you want to call me? I'm like the little person that floats all over.
Glue?
Like,
yeah, sounds like
it.
it.
Front,
Yeah, so
I can help them bartend. I help them make drinks. Is whatever they ask me, I give them an answer for. I'm the book for the restaurant when it comes to servicing.
And when did you start?
I started when I'm 38 now. I started.
No. When you started Get Tight?
January. The end of January.
Yeah.
Wow.
Been
So
there
your world's been rocked a little bit.
So we've gone through quite a few people in her position. Restaurant life, right? And even in previous restaurants I've worked at, every chef comes and they say, my goal is to teach the people underneath me to take my job. That's like the classic saying. Chef D's the first one that's actually been able to pull that off. It's pretty great. Everybody gravitates to her because there's something she can give to them to help them succeed. And she does very well at explaining that and making them feel comfortable in those situations and scenarios.
It says a lot that she still has tenure back and forth to Jamaica. Apparently, this resort would like to keep you.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I do financials down there. I go down and write the menu, check on everything, do the orderings for the month, see how everything is, and I come back home.
How did that start?
I was going down there. I've been going down there for a while. I got people down there and stuff like that, and I was going back and forth, and I just happened to go eat at the resort one night. We just all happened to go with the kids and everybody, and boom, the lady was like, hey, would you like to come in? You seem very interested. You're here talking about the food and everything, because I was just going on a whole spill about everything I've seen in there. That's why I don't like going to restaurants, because you can kind of see, like if I'm sitting too long, I'm like, yeah, that's about 5 minutes too long. Like I was doing that, and she was like, you know a lot, and then she pulled me to the back. I met the restaurant owner and whatnot, and he just kind of gave me a spill of everything. He was like, you live here? I was like, no, I live in America. He was like, well, if you want to come back and forth, we will offer you a position. I was like, I got a job there. He said, just like come in and helping us. I was like, great. Like I took it something different for me,
Sure.
And I went down there and I cooked for them a little bit. I cooked their cuisine, of course, and then I cooked some American food and showed them the difference. They was like amazed by how quick I can pick up to what they do. And he was like, hey, would you like to make our menus and help us figure out some financial stuff? I was like, sure.
Can you mention the name of the restaurant?
It's called Blue Oasis.
Blue Oasis. And what town is it in Jamaica?
It's in Montego.
Montego Bay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a nice little baby trip for you. Maybe
feel like
you
we
get a
should
little
go
water. And she does.
for research.
We're going to get an invitation.
Yeah,
You
cool.
didn't hear that in
Yeah,
her voice?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
heard, come,
That's what
check
I heard
it
too.
out.
This should have been Eat at Virginia on the road.
Yeah, that's where it should
On
have
the
been.
plane, on the
Yes.
ship.
Yeah. In the water.
In the water.
Like it. Are you ready for
Yeah, I
questions?
think we can do the 6 questions
Great.
now. All right. Roby, you want
Ask the first one.
to ask the first
Yeah,
one?
'cause I don't need
they're on
this.
the bottom there.
Okay, so how do you guys take your coffee if you drink coffee?
Changes with the day. I would say most often a cafe con leche, lightly sweetened, served from either Ben, Olivia, Bob, or Ray at Cuba Cuba.
Wow, specific, and I like it.
I don't drink coffee, but you give me a Red Bull or some coconut water, I'm good. That's my shot every day, coconut water and Red Bull.
Chef D, when you're cooking in the kitchen, what kind of music do you like playing?
They'll tell you, I listen to a lot of Caribbean music, and I listen to one specific artist here. I listen to a lot of Kevin Gates music and Caribbean music when I'm in the kitchen. It just kind of is upbeat for me, and it's just kind of, and I used to cook for him too, so, and I just be moving. That's why I just be in there and I have fun.
I try to listen to as many different genres, as much music. I mean, booking the venue, I'm constantly listening to music. I play music.
What do you play?
It's always changing. I play bass guitar.
In a band or just for fun?
In a couple bands. All of it's for fun.
Give us a plug. What are the bands?
So none are really active right now. Okay. My band, Tina Rose, our last album came out about 6 years ago. I have had 3 children since then, but
so you've had a band.
But yeah, so my wife is
forming a band.
My wife is the singer and songwriter of my band. So she just recently told me that she wants to start working on a new album.
You mean like literally she's the singer songwriter? I thought you were being like metaphorical.
No, my wife is the singer songwriter of my band.
They produce individuals that could play instruments, and now she's going to write some songs.
Yeah, a family band coming in 20 years.
Well, there's a venue that I know of in Richmond. It's near VCU. I heard it's really nice.
Yep.
They have a stage.
Yeah, I'll listen to it, see what I think.
All right, cool.
What restaurant that's not yours do you visit most often?
I think we know his answer.
I mean, that's Cuba Cuba.
What is it about Cuba Cuba you love so much?
What is
coffee
there
and the music?
What is there not to love about that place?
The coffee and the music, Scott.
A big part is the location. You know, it's right up the street from Get Tight Lounge. And, my children's daycare is at the VCU right there, the CDC. So it's quick and easy. I usually, get one of 3 things. They know me there. The conversation's always great. Yeah, the place is awesome.
It is. Chef D, what about you?
Richmond.
I know you're always in your own kitchen working too hard, but is there a restaurant?
Let me see. Where do I normally go?
That you frequent?
I used to go to this new restaurant in Short Pump called Sushi King because I like sushi a lot. And
is it the one with the...
No, it's not that. I haven't been to that one yet.
Okay.
They just opened, but it's another one. It's like all you can eat sushi, and it's like you can watch the sushi chefs back there make it. So I go in there like maybe twice a week if I got time to do it, if I'm off enough. But that's my go-to spot because I like sushi. So yeah, that's my go-to.
It's in Short Pump.
Yeah, it's
Did
in
it
Short
used
Pump.
to be on Broad Street?
I don't think so. I think this is a brand new concept they brought to Virginia. So I think Short Pump is the only location right now.
There used to be, when I was working at a different job than I have now, there used to be like something called Sushi King or Sushi Queen.
Yeah, back in the day, it was one down here. This one called Sushi Kingdom. It's like a big, it's big.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the king.
Oh, it's better than a king.
Yeah.
It's a whole kingdom.
I know you guys work around the clock, but is there a place in town, a restaurant that you haven't tried yet that you were really trying to get into and go?
I haven't been to the new restaurant Adara since they've changed locations. Big fan of that place. Love the style of food they cook. Between having children, the restaurant, and the time they moved, I just haven't been there yet.
Restaurant Adara.
Is there, in your neighborhood where you live, is there an underrated restaurant or small business you'd like to call out?
I live in North Side. I would say Nomad Deli, Smoky Mug, Fuzzy Cactus.
Short Pump.
What about in the Pump?
Let me see.
The Sushi Kingdom?
Yeah.
No.
What's up there? Yaya's cookbook is actually really, really good. That's like one of the good spots up there.
Asked you the hottest take about Richmond restaurants. What would be your response to that?
I am really a fan of a lot of the originality that Richmond is bringing to the restaurant scene right now. And when I say originality, I don't necessarily mean like the concept they have right now is like brand new, never heard of before, but they're not opening a place that's just like something that's a couple blocks down. I mean, I like what between the Lafayette Tavern. I even like what Cahoots has done recently. It's different than what is within blocks of there. They didn't just do what was easy. They took a chance on something. I really like what Brittany did with Barbui. I think that's got a really cool vibe. I like the creativity and just like I said, trying to do things that don't already exist in the city. That makes living in the city exciting for me. Instead of being like, oh, let's have a drink and appetizer there and go somewhere else and feel like I'm getting the same thing. Like it can be a whole different vibe and set up, and that's very enjoyable.
In Richmond, I like the fact that Richmond's starting to become more creative, and we're starting to like branch out and doing stuff that you don't like. I go to DC. I'm not even gonna lie. I go to DC before I stay in the city to get stuff because how it is in the city. But here lately, it's making you want to stay at home and actually want to do more stuff. The city's bringing stuff in here that we haven't seen in a while, and I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago when we was voted the best city to come to in the whole country for food. I think we're starting to kind of keep that that push and elevate. And I see a lot of more restaurants are not doing the same concept. They're changing and they're elevating and they're bringing more stuff that you never seen in Richmond, which I think I like. I like the gastro stuff they're bringing in and all of that. So I think we're on the right move.
I do think we're having some differences. We're seeing some splintering of concepts, so they're not just Southern food.
Yeah,
we're not just Southern food.
No, there's definitely we are Southern food because we're
He's
Richmond.
Like, no.
We are, but it's good to have diversity, and I think it's kind of like a survival of the fittest. If you understand like at all how the back end of restaurants work, it is not the best time for restaurants right now. It's rather volatile. Like just prices up and down and up and down, and more recently up and up and up and up. And you're like, well, it can't get higher than that, and then it does. In order to not have to charge a $25 burger, in order to not do these other things, you have to figure out how to diversify, and you have to figure out how to bring people out of their house, because I can cook a cheeseburger at home. I can do a smash burger at home, right? Yours has to be better than mine in order for me to come out. And I think a lot of restaurants in Richmond are, coming to that challenge and showing up and keeping people out eating and drinking, and that's very important.
Great. Well, awesome. You're listening to Eat It Virginia with Roby, Scott, Drew, and Delisa.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.